So I'm gonna go through 3 different ways to set this up. The first is that head supported one that you just saw. The point is, what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to do this like this, just standing here in space with nothing supporting your weight. When you have to hold this position for a really long time, your lower back is gonna have to work quite a bit, which isn't the end of the world, but if we can just support some of our upper body weight on something, our lower back won't have to work as hard. And so you can do that one of 3 ways. I'm fine with any of them. Personally, I like the head support, but not everyone will. If you want to set up the head support, what you want to find is a bench height that allows you to rest your forehead and some of your upper body weight here while keeping your torso as parallel with the floor as possible. That is something we're really looking for in all of these techniques, is our torso as parallel with the floor as possible. That's gonna help us work the rear delts and less traps, which is not the end of the world, but not everyone wants to grow traps, and that's not really the goal of this exercise. So I'm 5'11". For me, a 30-degree bench angle works really well. I can get myself in position like this, nice solid base, nice neutral spine here, grab the dumbbells, and from here, my focus is going to be moving the arms out wide with straight arms or a slight elbow bend. The technique is going to be the same no matter the setup. And so it is a fly, a rear delt fly. You are flying the arms out in a big circle with as little elbow bend as possible. If there's a slight elbow bend, it's not a big deal. I would recommend trying to keep them as straight as you can though. If you find that putting your head on the bench is uncomfortable, you can grab something like a sweatshirt and you can put it here for a little bit more cushion. I've even seen people put their hip thrust pad on the edge of the bench like this so that they can rest their weight on the bench on their head here without it being uncomfortable on your head, which it can be. Now, if you don't like the head supported position, you can do a chest supported position like this, where you set up with the head of the bench in your sternum here with your chest hanging over the top of the bench. And then from here, you do that same technique. The reason I don't want you to slide down into the bench too much is it's gonna put your torso on too much of an incline. Again, I want your torso as parallel with the floor as possible, and this gets you close enough where I do like this technique as well. And the third way you can execute this is just by putting the bench down like this, sitting at the edge of the bench like this, resting your chest on your thighs, and then doing that same motion like this. So, quick recap, whichever setup you use, you want your torso as parallel with the floor as possible, and you want to maintain a nice neutral spine, soft knee bend if you're standing, long arms, and do a nice big circular fly motion with as little elbow bend as possible. If you're doing the head support, it will look like this. If you're doing the chest support, it will look like this. And if you're just sitting on the edge of the bench, it'll look like this.